Okay, welcome everyone. You are here for my presentation. My name is Michelle Walters, and I am talking today about 5 marketing tips. I have put some information in the chat for all of you that will give you some better information about kind of what all we have going on here and links for you to be able to follow up with me after the presentation if that seems of interest or of help for you. I'm going to go ahead and move into whoever it is Zoom user. Like I said, you need to change that or I will have to remove you from our group. It's a rule I've needed to set up in order to remain secure in the Zoom room. I'll give you about another minute to do so, and then I'll need to remove you. So sorry to be a little strict, I guess, with all of you, but it has, thank you very much. It has been a helpful rule as we move into the modern age of you never know who's who and what's going on with things. So I appreciate all of you showing up today and showing up for yourselves because I think I have some wisdom to share about marketing and I love to share it. And hopefully this will be helpful for all or some of you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation. And we want to go over here and beginning. And I hope all of you can see that. Great. Thank you very much for updating your name. I appreciate that. Oh, we do not have our Zoom user. There we go. Okay, great. Thank you for coming in. So today we're talking about 5 marketing success tips. And I chose this image to start our presentation because I think a lot of people feel like this, kind of staring at the computer, wondering, what am I going to do with the marketing for my small business? It can be overwhelming. There's so many options, so many choices out there, so many different kinds of customers and opportunities and places to spend money and channels and productivity and targeting. And how do you figure out what to do? I know that for many small businesses, it's really tough to figure out how to navigate these marketing waters and have confidence that what you are doing is working and bringing in the type of clients or customers that your business is looking for. So if this is kind of how you feel, know that this is how I want you to feel. I want to be able to help small businesses and their clients to get matched up, to find one another, and for you to feel confident and clear in what you are doing in your marketing. It can often be kind of murky, like a muddy lake. And part of what I'm here for is to see if I can help people feel like they are, swimming in a lake where you can see the bottom and you know where you're going and what you're doing, as opposed to, feeling very, very unsure and unconfident. So, a little bit about me. My name is Michelle Walters. I live in California. I have been in California most of my life, but not all of it. I have some degrees, one in biology. I have a master's in business from University of Washington, and I spent over 25 years in the digital marketing world on the corporate side. So I have a lot of experience for great big companies like Google and Clorox and Schwab. And what I've really done over the last few years is figure out how to transition those types of experience to small businesses. I opened up my own hypnotherapy practice in 2022 and have needed to figure out how can I do this when I don't have big marketing dollars, big marketing tools, all the big things I had behind me when I was working in those big companies and agencies. I've also dived in this year to the AI and development realm. I created an app a couple of months ago. You can check it out if you're curious. It's called Make My Hypno. It makes self-hypnosis recordings for people in just a matter of a few minutes in my directions and my voice. It's pretty cool. And what I'm going to be talking to you guys about later today is a group that I have started. It's been running for several months. It is called the Magnetic Marketing Collective, and it is designed to be helpful to support small businesses. So I'm going to go through 5 tips that I think are essential, super helpful, what you should be focused on if you are working with a solopreneur, a small business, that kind of a thing. So the very first tip that I have is to get your Google My Business game on. I don't know if all of you already have your Google My Business page set up, but it is central and essential in today's world to have this page. The wonderful thing about Google My Business is that it's free. It's just a matter of going through the process that Google insists you go through to get yourself verified and that kind of a thing. And then once you have your profile up, making sure that it stays active and that you're adding reviews and pictures and changing your hours and that kind of a thing so that more and more people will find you. You want to have a Google My Business page because it's really essential to get that visibility into your business. People aren't going to know about you if you don't have a Google My Business page. I put this even ahead of a website. While most businesses, I believe, will benefit from having a website, having your own website tells your customers and your competitors that you are serious about your business, that you are, in the game for the long term. Even if you don't have the resources or you haven't gotten that set up yet, you can set up your Google My Business page and have that independently, and it is a great way of making things work. It'll give you some customer insights, like who's visiting your page and are they calling you. It'll help you with local targeted promotion because you're going to show up for other people who are searching in your area or your zip code. Google My Business is essential for today's small business player. So here's where you get started. You just go to support.google.com/business, and that will take you to a page where you can go ahead and put in all the details you need in order to get your page set up. So as we go through these top 5 tips that I have for you today, I'm going to be making a recommendation as to one thing, just one thing in each category that y'all can do in order to, make some headway, because you're going to need to make headway on your marketing. Otherwise, you won't be that smiling lady. You're going to be that frustrated gentleman. And I don't want that for any of you. So, my do it today tip for step 1, improving my Google My Business page, is to add a picture. Add a picture on your Google My Business page, and that will help and refresh your page. And it will also kind of reinvigorate your logo so that you can actually make more progress and get where you're trying to go on your Google My Business page. So let's go ahead and move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 for the small business owner is that you want to choose your channels. There's just too many things out there for you to try and keep up with to be able to do all of them. If you're a solopreneur or a small business person, you can't possibly be playing well in all of the categories. What's important is to play really well in a couple and focus on those. So many small business owners that I've talked to are unaware of this way of thinking about media, and I found it really helpful. And so I wanted to share it with you today. It's kind of a traditional view of media, but it works well in any environment, and it can help you to choose good channels for your business. So the 3 categories of marketing media that we refer to here are paid, earned, and owned. Paid media are sources of media where you're actually paying to be there. So this would be television advertising or newspaper advertising or buying a list. Any of these techniques would be considered paid media. Earned media is media that you get because someone else shared it about you. This could be a referral from a business networking group. It could be a link that your client forwarded to her friend. It could be social media. These are all examples of earned media, and there is a strong role for earned media within your plan. And the last one on here is owned media. Owned media is what you own. Think about it as what you are in control of that nobody else can take away from you. So, for example, I would not call your Google My Business page owned media. Google could decide not to do that anymore. But your website or your brochure, these are owned media because once you pay for them and you have them, they belong to you and nobody else. So as you think about these various forms of media, paid, earned, and owned, you want to think about what are you going to do in each of these categories and how will it work for your business. So my tip today is which ones are you going to focus on? And why don't you put those in the chat? I would love to see in the chat what people are working on. Let's see. Um, oh, I'm just following up on the chat now. If you guys want to put in the chat what your channels are, that would be fine. Someone has a question. My brother's also in this class. It didn't let him join when I joined. I have let everyone in who has asked to be in. So I'm sorry if your brother's trying to get here, but I have not I have not been keeping him out. I will be following up with a recording of this, so hopefully your brother would be able to make use of that. Thank you. I heard one answer to my question of what channels are you going to focus on. Nick says he's going to focus on a mix of all the channels. Well, that's great. It's going to be hard, but I understand your desire to play in all the categories. Good for you. So, tip number three. Tip number three is you got to measure, and then you got to measure, and then you got to measure some more. What I have discovered in talking to small businesses is that many of them are using digital media, but not very many of them know if they're using it right, or if their strategies are working, or if they're doing even the right thing. And I see a huge part of that as folks who are unclear about what they should be measuring, or they're measuring so many things they can't remember or focus on what they're trying to do. And it becomes kind of a big hodgepodge and a big mess. It gets complicated. I mean, most small businesses I know are pretty good at measuring their revenue, right? Some are good at measuring their sales calls, but these get into other metrics like how much are you growing your email list? How many people are unsubscribing from your email list? How many people are interacting with you on social media? And are they ever getting to the point where they call? Are you tracking down when you get a new client? Who referred that new client? These are important things to keep track of and measure because otherwise you're just going to be floating around in a world of unsureness. So, while I think it's helpful to think about each small business uniquely, for example, somebody who is doing cleaning services might need to measure different metrics from somebody who is maybe building websites. There are some good basic metrics, and I'm going to recommend these to you on the next slide here. So, my do today tip is to measure these 5 metrics. Measure how many people are coming to your website, how big is your email growing, how many inquiry calls have you booked and had? Are people showing up and you're having your sales conversations? What percentage of your sales are you closing? If you're not closing enough of your sales, maybe the problem isn't marketing, maybe it's your script or your closing process. And the last one is how many repeat customers? Some people have a lot of repeat customers, some people don't. It depends on the model. So, for example, when I was talking about the housekeeper, a housekeeper might have a lot of repeat customers, whereas a website builder might build you a website and then you wouldn't need a new website for many years. So, it sort of depends on your particular business and whether you're going to have a lot of repeat customers or not. But nevertheless, these five metrics, website visitors, email list growth, inquiry or sales calls booked, sales closed, and repeat customers are excellent metrics to keep track of for any small business. We'll take a quick look at the chat. Um, Okay. Oh, good. We're getting some answers to the question about what channels. Um, Somebody says owned and earned, creating a business page, owned mostly. That makes sense. Owned media is a really good one to focus on. Social media, Google My Business, and a question about earned media. Earned media is most frequently today social media, but it can also be things like referrals. All right, we're going to move on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is automation is your friend. There are so many things that you have to do as a small business. It gets really out of hand pretty quickly when you try and keep up with all these different things at one time. It's just really impossible for one person to do it all. I like to try and do as much of it as I possibly can. But the fact of the matter is, I am one person and I'm trying to do the marketing and the service and the sales and the strategy and the speaking and making sure I don't fall apart. It's really a lot. And so, one of the things that most small businesses can do, which once you get these things set up, they will run and you won't have to pay other people to do them or do them yourself. They can save a ton of time and they can make your life much, much better and easier. They do automations, can do things like increasing conversions, keeping your pipeline active, making sure people remember their appointments, sending personalized messages. These are all great uses of automation. I try to use automation in many aspects of my business, not all, but many because it makes the business run more in a more standard way, and it makes my prospects and customers happier about the results they achieve. So, my do today tip for automation is can you look at what you have and figure out one thing that you can automate this week? Now, the week is ending, so probably looking at next week, and next week is a short week. Maybe you even give yourself until the first week of December. But I strongly recommend looking at something that you could automate this week. I have one thing on my list this week. I have a process that every time I see a client online, I have to do this step, and it takes me 15 minutes every time I have to see a client. Well, this weekend's project for me is to automate that so that it'll take me more like 2 minutes instead of 15 minutes, and then I'll be able to save a whole lot of time. So I strongly recommend you look at your business and see what is something that you could automate and make that investment so that you'll save time on that step every single week. Okay, my last tip is to be friendly and available. I mean, this makes a lot of sense, but not everybody thinks about it this way. I think it's really helpful for people to understand if they're hiring you to be a small business to help them, they are not looking for Google or Clorox or Schwab. They are looking for somebody who will speak to them, know them, and get to know them well and really try and relate to them as a person. Even if you are a business selling to a business, I knew a guy who was always working on calling this human to human, which, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think that is what we're looking for. You want to be friendly. You want to be available. You want to make it easy for people to get in touch with you. So set up a Calendly. Make it super easy for people to book time with you. See if you can get reviews that talk about how friendly or easy to work with or available or responsive. These are the kinds of things that are going to help you stand out amongst the big wide crowd of all the other businesses out there so that your business can really step up and shine. And I know these things can be hard. That's why I'm here trying to share this information and support people because this is hard. This isn't just natural. People don't always know these things. I mean, yes, you might know to be friendly and available, but are you doing it? That's another question. So, as my little do today tip example for being friendly, see if you can make a little 30-second video introducing yourself. Maybe that video goes as a short on a YouTube channel. Maybe it goes on your website. Maybe it goes somewhere else. But a little short video answering a question, introducing your business can go a long way to speak to people that you might not have even met yet, to tell them about who you are and what you do. So in a moment here, I'm going to move on and tell you a little bit about my group. I have a group that I'm going to introduce in a few minutes that is here to support people. But first, I want to stop my presentation briefly and go over um, and ask if there are any questions. And you are welcome to unmute and come on camera and share with a question. Or if you prefer to put it in the chat, I will do my best to answer you. But we're not a big group. I'd love to know a little bit more. Thanks for those of you who got here early and shared where you were from. I'd love to know what kind of businesses y'all are doing, and if you have any questions about those 5 tips before I move on to the next section. Okay, let's see. I have one comment here in the chat. We've automated customer inquiries, building a voice AI agents that picks up all the client calls, answering FAQs, making appointments. Very helpful. Wow, that's pretty advanced. Good for you, Nick. All right, I'll give you all a few more seconds. I know sometimes people have stepped away from their computer and they're not ready to pop in or to put their questions in the chat.
Hi, I'm Erica. I have a question.
Yes,
So my question
Erica.
first about social media and posting. How often do you think you should post to social media for a small business or when you're just getting started? Because I haven't even made a page yet.
Well, you're right. The first thing to do is to make a page. I would probably set a goal for your first month or two of just posting at least once a week.
Okay.
And that's not going to develop a massive following. That's not going to advance your talents in major ways, but it will start creating a habit. And a
Okay.
huge part of the game, really, with marketing is being consistent. So I would encourage you to just set an easy goal, but one that you can be consistent with to start with. And then as your business comes together, ramping that up because once a week won't be enough to hit your targets over time, but it will be enough to start developing the muscle of consistency. Does that
Oh,
answer your question, Erica?
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Serafina.
Hi, you were asking what types of businesses we run. First of all, thank you for taking my question. Hi, I'm Serafina Hunter. I coordinate a farmers market here in Palisade, and I work for a town government. So we try to utilize as many free available marketing tools as possible to help cut the cost because we are funded mostly by grants that we have to seek out. So any way that we can do partnerships with local radio stations or utilize Google or we do Facebook and Instagram. Of course, I'm limited to those 2 social media outlets because we are government. We want a kind of a semblance of control on the content that's out there. So I just wanted to share that I'm looking for, other ways to help promote this business. And it's unique in the sense that my customers aren't directly my customers. I have a 2-tier customer setup in the sense that My customers are actually the vendors that sign up for the market itself. But in order to draw those vendors and have those people continue to want to be part of the market, I have to make the second tier of customers, which are the people that attend the market, happy and give them what they want. So I think I just want some clarity on that, because when I'm marketing to that second tier of customers, correct? Not necessarily to
Well,
my.
you're really marketing to both. And I
Okay.
think you see that. And yes, your focus needs to be on the vendors because you're looking for repeat customers from your vendors that they're going to come back week after week or month after month, whatever your tempo
Mhm.
is for your program. But you're absolutely right. Those vendors aren't going to want to renew their booths if there aren't people showing up for the market. Um, I would think that in your situation, leaning into Instagram and Facebook might be very good things. Getting vendors to take pictures of customers at their booths, taking pictures of beautiful flowers for sale at the market that people want to come down and buy. Social media might be a very good avenue for your organization.
Wonderful. I will lean in a little more. I've taken a billion pictures, and it's a matter of transitioning them into usable media. And so I guess going back to the automate something, I'm going to be automating my posts on social media. So I will set aside
Yes.
blocks of time to have a regular weekly post set up. During the market season, it's a little bit easier for me because I do have a system for it, but outside of the season, it's hard to keep on those posts and keep that regular habit going. So
Automation is the way to do it.
thank you very much.
Absolutely. Looks like we may have one more question coming in, and then I'm going to flip back to my slides. Okay, are there any more questions? All
I
right.
have a question. I have a question.
Yes, Rosa, nice to hear from you. What's your
So,
question?
how is Twitter and Instagram and what's the other one? I guess TikTok. Is that viable for a B2B business? Like if you're selling through
I
distribution?
think almost any of them could be viable depending upon what your business is and who you're trying to speak to and where they are. If your customers are on Twitter, then you probably want to be on Twitter. If
The problem that I have is I inherited a small business and I don't have access to like the Twitter accounts or the Instagram accounts. And so like in order for me to be on social media, I have to start new with a new page. And I feel like that's confusing because there's an old page there and I don't know how to fix that.
I don't know off the top of my head how to fix it either, Rosa. And I do appreciate your situation, and I think you are thinking about this the right way in that you don't want to confuse people. I would need to put more time and attention into looking into your specific situation to make up to have a good answer. So, okay. Thank you for your questions. I'm going to go ahead and move back to the last section of our um, presentation today. So, in summary, the 5 tips are to add some pictures to your Google My Business page, to choose your channels. Just pick a couple and don't worry about the rest. You can't do all of them well. Track your numbers at least monthly. Weekly would be great, but at least once a month, you want to take a view as to what those numbers are. Automate, start with one thing. Just start with one thing, but get yourself recognizing that if you can do an automation regularly, you are going to be giving yourself the gift of time every time you produce one. And go ahead and send out your free your 30-second video. For those of you who haven't tried putting the camera here in front of your face and recording and sending a message, there is nothing that gets your confidence a little higher to have the boldness and the bravery to say what you're going to say and put it out there. So I know many small businesses kind of feel like, wait, I'm lost. Where's the path? How do I figure all of this out? There are so many choices ahead of me, and I don't know how to make them. I don't have the support, the accountability, the consistency. how do I manage to get this done? Well, I invented a community where this is what we do. We support one another with our marketing. My group is called the Magnetic Marketing Collective, and it is a small group of people. We are about 10 right now. I'd like to get the group up to 20 or so. Small businesses, people like a house cleaner and a web developer and a residential designer and an energy healer and a bookkeeper. We got people from many, many different walks of life all joining together a few times a month in order to work on skill development, learning tools, having confidence, holding one another accountable, providing feedback to one another. And this has really been shown to be so helpful for this group. So here are a couple of people in our group that are experiencing great results. Courtney has said that he thinks that the price point is extremely reasonable and has helped him and his architecture company to be able to make better choices about their marketing, showing up at the right events, having the right messages. David is a photographer. David has a rich history in digital marketing. He knows an awful lot about this, probably more than me in certain categories. But David joined the group because of the structure and the accountability and making sure that everything stays on track. Two other members of our group are Frida. Frida is an energy healer, and she's been learning about marketing funnels and all kinds of marketing concepts she didn't think about. Frida needed to better understand what her sales calls were. This just wasn't her territory, and I've been able to help her out. And Jill is a residential design specialist, and Jill is not into social media. Jill is little reticent on some of these fronts, but she's been finding the group regularly helpful and always comes bringing great questions, and we learn from her. We learn from each other. That's really how the group works. If you are feeling like you're in a desert, but there is some way that you can have a better road to feeling better, more closer to paradise, this is a door, and I am inviting all of you to walk through it. So here's a recent picture of our group. We meet on Zoom. We meet 3 times a month, and we meet for an hour and 15 minutes. I'm selling a few more memberships. I'd love to sell a few more this year, and then I will be selling more in January. The memberships for this support is only $79 a month. Memberships are going to go up to $99 at the beginning of next year. We meet the first, second, and third Mondays of the month for an hour and 15 minutes. And I support the group not just with our time in the call, but I'm happy to get on calls with people, answer questions, sort of provide that marketing resource, which so many small businesses have nobody. And this is a way to get that kind of support easily and very cost effectively. So, who is this for? Well, it's for small business owners who want something that's structured and easy and friendly. It's for people who know they want to do marketing, but they don't know exactly what to do. It's for people who want some help both with the strategy and the accountability, and people who feel overwhelmed by just there being too much and they need to simplify and have some support and make it happen. So if you are somebody who could use some help with your marketing strategy, getting it ironed out, I would love to help. I am looking for a few people who are wanting to magnetize their marketing, get some energy and some support around it. The next step, if you are interested in joining my group, is to schedule a quick call with me. I'm going to put that information in the chat. I just like to talk to people for a few minutes, make sure I understand who you are and what your small business is about, and then I can invite you to visit our group. You can visit the group for free and see if that kind of support would be what would help you and your small business. So I'm going to stop my share there. And I'm going to go back and repost my links here. If you are interested in coming to visit, then we should talk. And the easiest way to get on my calendar for a just I can answer a few more questions and see if you'd be a good fit for the group, is to book a free call. And I've just put that link in the chat. Like I said, prices will be going up next year. So if this is something that you might find supportive, it would be great to meet with you in the next week or two and invite you to one of our free sessions for you to come and visit in December. Okay, we're about at time. I want to thank all of you for coming. What questions can I answer? Okay. I gather this is not a group that has questions at this point. I hope my offer makes sense. These small businesses that have been a part of our group renew over and over again and find the support really, really helpful. So I'm just looking for a few more people, a few more small businesses that would provide the right energy for our group and can come and be a part of it. So as I said, this is a no commitment call, but I would love to meet with you and see if this could be a fit for your business and invite you to one of our meetings in December or January. If you want to visit in January, that's fine too. Thank you so much. Michelle Walters, talking about Magnetic Marketing Collective, signing off today. Thank you. Bye-bye.